Okay, hello, back again. Good evening. Fireburns Within channel. So, September's just ended. It's been a bumper month of music. A lot of albums I listened to in September. Loved September's music content. I'm going to close that. You don't need to see that. Yeah, it's been a good month. I've found 50 albums that I liked, that I rated 7 out of 10 and upwards. So a lot of albums I've sampled. Most of them not heavily sampled. There's not that much time, is there? But sampled to the point where I've had a very good listen. Sometimes two good listens. On various places that I've found on the internet. Some of them are on my buy list. The ones that I really like, they're on my to buy list, and I will mention those as we get to them. But yeah, so 7 out of 10 is my cutoff point. Like a 7 out of 10 album for me is a good solid album, and then gradually we increase the rate as we go higher, and we reach a higher ranked album going on towards 10 and so on. But yeah, so let's start at the bottom, or what I would consider good albums, 7 out of 10 albums. Yeah, 7 out of 10 albums. The first one, I'm going to mention these quickly, the 7 out of 10 ones. I'm not going to talk too much about them because this video will get too long and boring. The first one, 7 out of 10, first 7 out of 10 album is Article and Forevermore. I think they're a Greek power metal band who got Mark Bowles to sing. Yeah, it's a solid album, solid power metal. I won't talk too much about these. Next is Ascendor, Circle of Violence. I can't quite remember where these guys are from. They're a thrash metal band I discovered recently. Pretty good. I like it. Next is another 7 out of 10. These are all 7 out of 10s. When we reach 7.5s, I'll let you know. Carnation, Where Death Lies. It's a Belgian death metal band. Slightly disappointing, but still solid as hell. But not quite as good as I was hoping. Next is Demolizer, Thrashmageddon. Yeah, very fast, heavy thrash. It works for me. It's solid. Next is Dreams of Avalon, Beyond the Dream. It works for me. It's nice. It's solid. It's just not a world beater. Next is Evil Corpse, Apocalyptic Future, thrash metal from Brazil. Very cool, very solid. It's not perfect, but it does the job as far as thrash goes. Next is Fermentor and Continuance. I think this is not a September album. This is an older album which I listened. I mean, some of these albums are older albums which I never got to hear when they were first released. This is like a very underground band. They're like an instrumental death metal band. I really like them. Fermentor. 7 out of 10 for those guys. Next is Lone Wolf, Division Hades. Yes, German power metal, solid albums. It's enjoyable. It's okay. It's good. Trusty 7 comes out for those guys. Next is Madrost, Charring the Rotting Earth. Just heard this recently. It was on full album is on YouTube. Yeah, it's good. The vocals are not doing a lot for me. Very, very scratchy, very harsh. But music is great. Very progressive. Almost technical thrash metal. Very cool. But vocals slightly lets it down. Hence, only the 7 out of 10. Next is Mortar Schooled and Suffer for Nothing, US death metal. Yeah, it's solid. I only listened to once. It's solid. It's okay. It was slightly underwhelming, but it's a rock solid 7. There was some great moments. Next is also 7 out of 10. These are all 7 out of 10s until they change. I'll let you know. Is Night and High Tides, Distant Skies. It's a sort of like a retro rock band. It was solid, enjoyable, Swedish retro rock. Next is NZM and Time's Running Out. It's a US neoclassical power metal band. Not bad, rock solid, it's good. Next is Raven and Metal City. Yeah, it's okay, it's good, you know, can't complain too much. It's just not super wowing me or anything. Next is Sapiency for Those Who Never Rest. It's heavy death metal, some clean vocals, some modern traits. It's rock solid. Production is really good. 7 out of 10. It's a solid release. Next is Scars and Predatory. It's a thrash metal band, rock solid, heavy thrash metal. It's okay, it's good. Next is Torch and Reignited, return of the Swedish heavy metal band. It's rock solid, heavy, it's okay, it's good. Next is Typhus. I forget the title of this album. It's sort of like a speedy thrash metal album. It's okay, it's good, decent. Right, now we reach the 7.5 out of 10 albums. First one is Desolator, Sermon of Apathy. Really good album, really solid. Death metal, little bit of thrash, but mainly just death metal. It's solid, very, very good. Next album is, I don't know how to pronounce this band's name. I mean, it's a funny name. Atmi. Mephitic. It's like a technical death metal band from the US. Very solid, very great music. It's solid. Very good. Next is Andy James, and the album is C.S.I.L. I don't know what that stands for. It's instrumental, melodic, metal. Very catchy. I'm not huge into my instrumental, but this caught my ear all the way. Very enjoyable. Next is Bear Mace, Charred Fields of Slaughter. Heavy death metal, bolt thrower style. Very solid. I really enjoyed this. 7.5. Next is Black Sun and Silent Enemy EP. Very enjoyable, very melodic metal, power metal, heavy metal. It's a mix. It's only an EP, but it easily gets a 7.5 from me. Next is Co-Maniac and Holodox, thrash metal. Vocals not the best, but the music is great. I love the music. Very thrashy, very fast, almost technical. Very cool. Next is Heathen and Empire of the Blind. Is old school, heavy thrash metal. Production is amazing. Very cool album. Still not totally won me over, but 7.5 with ease. Next is Hitman, Destroy All Humans. Like a US traditional heavy power metal band returning after quite a while away. Yeah, this is very cool, very melodic. I really enjoyed this. 7.5. Next is a band I don't know well at all. It's Luna's Call and Void. This was like a progressive death metal band. Very good production. Little bit long-winded at times, but very cool album. Very cool overall. For an unknown band to me. Next is Manticora, To Live, To Kill, To Live. Very cool album. Heavy power metal. 7.5 for these guys. Next, a big band is Napalm Death. Throes of Joy in the Jaws of Defeatism. 7.5 out of 10 for Napalm. Yeah, a little bit experimental. I'm not too fond of too much experiments and sort of like drone and noise and all that. But when it rages hard, it's really great. It's really cool. Some great grooves. Yeah, it's got a bit of everything for a lot of different fans of different eras of Napalm. Next is Neuron Spoiler, Spoiled for Choice, their latest album from the UK power metal band, traditional metal band. Yeah, it's very good, rock solid, very melodic, easy 7.5 for me. Next is One Way North, and the album is To Light. This is like a modern heavy rock band from America. This is very cool. It reminds me of Alter Bridge, Tremonti. Very heavy, very melodic. It's catchy. 7.5 again. Next album is Rising Steel, Fight Them All. It's a French heavy power metal band. Good powerful vocals, good heavy riffs. Solid album, solid album. Next is Skeletoon and Nemesis. Yeah, very cool album, melodic, power metal, catchy, could possibly be an 8, but at the moment I went with 7.5, very catchy. Next is another 7.5 album, it's Smash Into Pieces and Arcadia. It's a very poppy album, very catchy though. I mean, I would call it like a pop rock album, but it's very catchy. Next is Virus and Evolution Apocalypse. It's a UK thrash metal band, very solid, very catchy riffs, very cool. Next is Witch Trap and Evil Strikes Again. I don't know too much about this band. They're like a thrashy, deathy band, mainly thrash, raw vocals. I really enjoyed this, 7.5. Okay, now we reach the 8 out of 10 albums. I really like these. Obviously, 8 out of 10 is a pretty high rate. I really like these albums. First one is 10 Years and Violent Allies. 10 Years is a US modern rock band. I really like this singer. I like the heavy riffs. I like the catchiness. I like the choruses. Very cool album. Next is Italian power metal band From the Depth and Moments is the album title. Very cool album. I mean, I didn't know these guys at all before. They play very cool heavy power metal, very catchy, good vocals. Nothing to complain about at all from the Depth. Next is Grace Disgraced and Immortec. I didn't know this band at all. This is a female-fronted death metal band that pretty much worships at the altar of all things death, Chuck Schuldiner. Yeah, very cool. They're Russian. Music is heavily influenced by death. Very catchy. I was surprised by this album. Her vocals are not the best, but we can put that aside and just immerse ourselves in the full death worship. Next is, I'm going back to Italy. Hell in the Club. Hell of Fame instead of Hall of Fame. This is a really catchy melodic rock album. Very cool songs. Well, it's almost heavy metal in parts, but it's like a mix between the two. Very cool vocals. I really like this album, Hell in the Club. Next is Swedish death metal band Lick and Misanthropic Breed. Very cool album. Old school sound. HM2. Yeah, very cool album. Maybe not quite as good as the previous album, but still easily gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Next is Memories of Old, the Zeramin Game, a new UK power metal band fronted by Tommy Johansson. Very cool album, very melodic, not so speed fixated always. They're very epic, sort of like mid tempo at times, grand structures. I need to listen to this far more times to get a better feel for it, but so far I really enjoy it. I always enjoy Tommy's vocals. It's a really cool album. If you like melodic power metal, you really need to try Memories of Old. Right, next is a band that I'd never heard of before. They're called Psychosomatic, and the album is called The Invisible Prison. Very cool thrash metal, this one. Very cool riffs, lots of great tempos, cool solos. Even the vocals are quite suitable for the style. I really recommend that for thrash heads. Next one is also an 8 out of 10 album. It's Self Deception and Shapes. Self Deception is like a modern heavy rock band. Very cool vocals, very melodic. It's just the songs that win me over. Very catchy, memorable songwriting. Self Deception. Next is a death metal band, Skeletal Remains, The Entombment of Chaos. This is a classic old school death metal album, much faster than their previous album. Very Morbid Angel fixated style. Very cool album, still very catchy, very catchy. Next is also an 8 out of 10 album, the last of the 8 out of 10s. It's The Waymaker and their self-titled album. This is a pure Christian worship power metal band. It's a new band. There's male vocals and female vocals as well. Very cool band. Quite a heavy edge, which is quite surprising. The lyrics are over the top preachy Christian metal, so you've got to be able to get past that. But if you can and you love your power metal, then The Waymaker is really a cool listen, well worth checking out. Okay, 3 albums to go. 2 albums at 8.5 out of 10. The first one is Brother Fire Tribe, Feel the Burn. I love these guys, Brother Fire Tribe. This album is sort of like, people have been saying it lacks in the guitar department, but I don't know, I just love it anyway. I mean, alright, it is slightly less heavy, but it's still really, really melodic. I mean, I love Pekka Heino's voice. He's got an amazing voice. The songs are really catchy, and it does get heavy enough. I mean, this is AOR. Don't expect like bulldozing heavy riffs. I mean, this is going to be melodic, but it's, you know, it's got enough edge for it to be, you know, appeal to, you know, heavy melodic rock fans as well for me. But, you know, I've heard people say it's a little bit light, but it's all about the songs in the end, and I think the songs are really, really awesome. Okay, the second 8.5 out of 10 album is a totally new band to me. I don't know them at all. They're called Sacred Outcry, and the album is called Damned for All Time. It's a Greek heavy power metal band. This album blew me away. It's really cool. I could even rate it at 9 out of 10. The singer's really good. The songs are really good. The melodies are captivating. This is a really rock solid band. I mean, Greek bands these days, they are rock solid. I mean, Greece has a lot of great traditional heavy power metal bands these days. I mean, very, very, from, you know, going back to say Firewind, Mystic Prophecy, to more recent bands like Diviner and Inner Wish is old as well, but Diviner, Inner Wish, a few other ones as well. Names escape me now, but this band is really cool. You can add Sacred Outcry to that list. But anyway, finally, after nearly 20 minutes of chit chat talking, my album of the month for September is going to Sweden. It's Perfect Plan and Time for a Miracle. This is just an awesome album. I've rated this at 9.25 out of 10. Yes, I do give quarters. I think I should really give it 9.5 out of 10, but I've given it 9.25. Maybe I'll give it 9.5 when I do a final yearly roundup. But this album is just an awesome album. I mean, there's hardly I wouldn't say there's really anywhere near a weak track. Maybe one track is not as good as the rest. It's sort of like a bluesy track, and I'm not really a blues guy, but the rest of the album is just awesome. Amazing melodic rock. It reminds me of Survivor at times. The singer Kent Hilly, he reminds me of Jimmy Jamison at times. Rest in peace to Jimmy. I think he's just an amazing singer, this guy, Kent Hilly. I mean, their first album was really good, Perfect Plan, but I would have rated that around 7.5 to 8. But this one is just like, they really knocked it out of the park with this one. They honed their songwriting skills to maximum effect. Like, they really, I don't know, they pulled out all the stops. They made sure the songs are the best that they can be, very catchy, heavy enough, good guitars. Kent Hilly on vocals, he's doing the best he can. Even the ballads, I'm not a huge ballad guy in AOR, but the ballads on this album are really good, really stirring ballads, very, very cool. And the instrumentation is really top class as well. So, Perfect Plan, this is a buy or die. I mean, there's a few albums I need to get. Sacred Outcry, I definitely need to get Brother Fire Tribe. Because I've got all their discography more or less, so I definitely need to get that. A couple of the other ones I need to get as well, but we'll see. That's good. That's to come. There you have it. Perfect Plan. Time for a Miracle. Album of the month in September. Check it out.